Hey, everybody. It is yours truly, Dr. Shamika Dean. Y'all come on in. Y'all already know when I go live, probably means I'm about to, let me give a disclaimer. Okay. Probably means I'm about to extract some edges, loosen some lashes and lace fronts, and take back a couple of toupees for my fellas, right? So, as you are tuning in, make sure that you hit share. And when you hit share, I want you to say, you got to see this. Like, make that your caption that says, you got to see this. And then I also want you to do me another favor and comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from so that I can shout you out. Hey, Caprice, how are you? How are you? How are you? I hope you are having an amazing day. So, if you are new to me, I am a marketing solutionist. I'm also a thought leader. That means that I kind of help you break through broken belief systems so that you can live a better life. Because I know that belief systems become birthing systems. So if you're wondering why your life is the way it is, it has a lot to do with your belief system. Okay. So, excuse me. Again, today we are going to be, hey, Megan. She said, finally caught one of your lives. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, just share. And when you share, just type the caption. You got to see this. Hey, Talitha from Mississippi. Megan from She Wins. All right. So, anywho, today we're going to be talking about, what the topic says. It says, stop comparing your reality to someone else's carefully crafted content. And so, real quick, if you're honest, and you're one of those people that you like to tell the truth on yourself because you know the truth leads to transformation, then if you have been one of those people that you went on social media, or it could be someone that you know, but you find yourself comparing your reality to their carefully crafted content, right? You start questioning yourself. You start, getting discouraged about not being where you are or where you want to be in life, etc. Right? And so you start looking at them, and then the next thing you know, you start comparing your life to theirs, right? So I was sharing this with a friend, and I was saying, a lot of marriages were surviving a whole lot more before social media. I said, because what happens is you will be looking at your spouse, or, you're looking at your spouse and things are, going good, right? He's doing nice things for you. He may stop on his way home from work and get you, some $5 roses and bring them home. And you just like, oh my God, love him. He loves me. We love each other. Right. And then you get on social media and you see Becky with the good hair, right? And her husband bought her some of the lifetime roses, right? So he spent a whole lot of money on roses, or she comes home from work and he has decorated the entire room with roses. And so then now you looking at your husband upside the head and you like, all he bought me was some $5 roses. These little cheap dollar store roses. So you start comparing your reality to someone else's carefully crafted content. Okay, so maybe you're not married, maybe you don't have a man at home. So, but maybe you're a business owner, right? And here you go, you just made your first sale in business. You're excited, boom, and you're excited and you're telling everybody. But then you scroll on social media and you see someone who said that they just had, $100,000 a month. And here you are, you just made your first $27, $47 sale, right? You were fine and you were excited until you started to compare your reality to someone else's carefully crafted content. Or you may enroll 10 people into your new program, but then you scroll on social media and you see someone who just said they had 10,000 enrollments into their program. Or you had your first event and you sold out a good 25 tickets, and then you go on social media and you see someone else and they talk about how they had 5,000 people to attend their event. then you're no longer excited, right? You're no longer in that posture of being thankful or grateful. You then begin again, you are comparing your reality to somebody else's carefully crafted content. If that is you, if you've been guilty of that, just say me, because this broadcast right here is going to set you free, okay? Because that's what I'm in the business of. Helping you to break broken belief systems, because belief systems become birthing systems. So, again, just say me. I promise no judgment here. This is a place where truth leads to transformation. And that's what we're all about. So, again, Miss Lady Rose said, me, thank you for being honest. Thank you so much. So, I want to share with you all what God gave me, the revelation that He gave me about this very thing. And when I posted this status on social media and someone asked me, they said, can you elaborate on it? And so I said, I don't really like to elaborate because I start writing books and stuff, when I elaborate, because I want to, give you all the caveats and all the different perspectives and all those things. And so, but anyway, as shortly as I could, I gave her the revelation that God gave me about this. So He said to me, He said, there is a reason why I say there is a time and a season. Now, this is really going to transform your life if you let it, right? So I want you to type in the comment section, time and a season. So, and as you're tuning in, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about, again, comparing yourself, your reality to someone else's carefully crafted content. If you're just tuning in, you missed the first 6 minutes, you want to go back and watch the beginning of this broadcast. And you also want to share it because somebody else is going to be transformed by it too. Right? So again, He said, there's a reason why I said there is a time and a season. He said, most people in this society, in today's world, because we have access to so much, right? Everything is right at our fingertips. And social media is one of those things. He said, because of social media and because of the way that the world is now, where you can see everything all the time, he said, everybody wants to get to the time. Everyone is rushing the time. He said, but there is a reason that I said there's a time and a season. So then he says, I want you to think about the fruit in the store, the organic fruit, and then the factory generated fruit, right? So the factory generated fruit is where they try to manipulate time. So they try to make things be available in different seasons, right? But when you taste it, it doesn't taste the same, because although they manipulated the time, it wasn't the right season for it. So what happens when you try to manipulate time, there is damages and there are defects, and there also causes disruptions and delays. He said when they go into the store and they see all of these fruit that are in there, and they know that it's not the season for their fruit, all they're looking at is that these fruit are actually on the shelf at this particular time, and they want access to it. He said, but what they fail to realize is that there are more fruit that didn't make it into the store than those that actually did make it to the store. There were more damaged and more defect that did not actually make it into the store. Not only that, they may not see the damage that these particular fruit are causing to their body. Simply because it's available at that time, you get it, you start eating it. But because they manipulated time, it causes damages and defects. So then he says, when you look at the organic fruit, that they take the time, right? And they make sure that it's produced in the proper season. They taste better. They're healthier for you. Guess what? They're not always available because they're not supposed to be always available, because it's not the season. And when it's not the season, then it does not have the same level of quality that it should have. And it's not going to give you the proper nourishment and help you to grow and expand the way that it's supposed to. So again, he said, that's why I want people to understand that yes, it may be your time, but it may not. It may be time, but it may not be your season. I'm going to say it again. It may be time, and you need to start asking yourself this. Is it my season? Because when you move things out of season, when you try to manipulate time, it is not going to have the substance. It's not going to have the longevity. It's not going to be able to sustain you. And at some particular point, because you try to manipulate time, it will cause more damage and more harm than it will help you. So I'm going to take y'all practical here real quick, because right after he told me about the fruit, when he gave me the analogy of the fruit, he then showed me about this new show on Netflix, the Squid Game. Squid Game. Now, if you look at the history, when you look at the backstory of Squid Game, he had been trying to get this show out here and get someone to pick this up for 10 years. But he was continuously turned down. It was not successful until right now. And it is right now the highest grossing series ever. I think they said it's at like $111 million or something right now. The highest grossing series. And so when he said that, he said, because when he tried to get it out there before, it was time to him because he had finished it, right? He had did the work. He was ready for somebody to pick it up, but it wasn't the season. Because here's the thing about the time and the season. Sometimes even when you have finished producing a thing, the people are not ready for what you have to release. They have not been properly prepared to receive what you have prepared. They're not ready. So sometimes you're like, well, it's time, I'm done, but it's not the season, because what you're creating is for somebody. It's not for you. It benefits you, it blesses you, but it's not for you. And so he has to also prepare a people. If Squid Game had came out 10 years ago, it would have flopped. Because I'm going to tell you right now, everybody would be like, what is this? This is foolishness, right? So again, the people were not ready. Although he had finished it in his own timing, the people were not ready. So that's what you also have to understand. There are some things that God has given you to create that you have finished the task and you're ready to produce it. But he says, my people are not ready. Because the way that I created this thing for you to do it, the people are not ready. The people are not ready. But see, oftentimes we think that it's just about us. We're like, God, I'm ready. I'm ready to go out here. If I had the influence that I have now back then and still being the way that I am now, the people would not have been ready. Sometimes the people need to be prepared so that what you're about to release, what you're about to pour, what you're about to give, it won't destroy them. But they will be readily available to receive it, and it's going to be a benefit to them. It's going to help them. It's going to grow them. It's going to evolve them. It's going to change their lives. So you have to, again, understand that yes, the time you may be ready. You may feel like I'm ready right now, but it's not the season. And that's okay, because when the season comes, there will be you will flourish so much, you will grow so much faster, you will accelerate, you will exceed expectations. Again, think about Squid Game. This man went from trying to do this for 10 years, and now it is the highest grossing series on Netflix. But Netflix wasn't even popping like this 10 years ago. Everybody couldn't get a movie. I don't even think, wait a minute. Let me do a little research. When was Netflix streaming created? What's this? 2021. It's 2021. So it's created in 2007. So that's what, 14 years ago, right? 2007, 2020. Yeah. Is that right? 14. It used to be a CD. And so you guess what happened? If he had released it back then, wouldn't have went nowhere, player. He'd been sitting around mad, twiddling his thumbs, because he would have invested all of that time into it, and it would not have had the success that it had. So I want you to stop stop comparing your reality to someone else's carefully crafted content, and understand that even if they are flourishing right now, it's simply their time and their season. You are at a place where there's something else that needs to be done. Either there's another level of preparation for you, because I guarantee you from when he first started to now that the product is much better, because it evolves over time, because you begin to learn more, you get more wisdom, you get more insight, more things become available to you as time goes on. So again, there could be something else that needs to be done inside of you. There also could be a way that God wants to make what you're doing better, or the people that this particular thing that God has given you to do are not ready for it yet. But here's the thing that I love. You can still prosper in every season. It may not be for you to prosper in that particular thing in this season, but the prosperity. He says everything your hands touch will prosper. So what I want you to do is say, God, what should I be focusing on in this season? I know that it's time. I feel like it's time, God, but is it the season? And if it's not, what do I need to focus on in this season so that I may be fruitful? Because you promised me that everything my hands will prosper. And he also promised you that your leaves would not wither, that you would be like a tree planted by the living waters, and you will prosper in every season. And I'm paraphrasing the scripture, but go read it, look it up. Okay, it's Bible. But again, it may be time, but is it your season? You want to operate in time and in season so that it will be good fruit that will do good things and impact the lives of people the way that it's supposed to. Okay? So that's all I have for y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I pray that this has really been impactful for you, and that you take this with you and you come back to me with a testimony, with some good news of what God has done for you when you asked him what you needed to focus on in this season so that you can be fruitful in this season. Okay? Thank you. She says very impactful, very impactful. All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget, if you're just tuning in, go back, share this broadcast with others, invite them to join. When you share it, put the caption that says you've got to see this, and so that more people can get their eyes on it. Okay. All right. You're welcome, Tanisha. All right, y'all, enjoy your day. Love you immensely and intensely, because I almost forgot that. Boom.